No one can predict when or where disaster will strike.
I got flooded.
I had about 2 feet in my living room. My basement filled up to the ceiling.
45 minutes from 4 foot to 10 foot.
We had to swim out of the house.
My computer was floating, everything was floating.
And that big boom, when it blew out the front of the house.
Local officials and emergency response teams are trained to respond to protect the citizens of their communities. If local governments need help, they can turn to the state for assistance. But when a disaster goes beyond the ability of local and state governments to manage, and the governor of the state requests help, the president may declare a federal disaster, giving hard-hit communities access to emergency resources provided by the federal government. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, provides assistance after the president declares a major disaster. Most important is the assistance FEMA has for families and individuals, you and your neighbors. After a disaster, when you and your family are in a safe place, the first step is to call your insurance company. After the president declares a disaster, the next step for people who live in a federally declared county is to call the FEMA toll-free number at 1-800-621-FEMA. This is to register for disaster assistance. You do not have to wait to find out what your insurance will cover. Call FEMA right away. The call generally takes 15 to 20 minutes. You will be asked for your Social Security number, the address of the damaged property, and for your insurance information if you have insurance. You need to provide a telephone number and a temporary address where you can be reached. Some financial information, such as income of members of your household, will also be required. The information you provide is entered into the computer, and before you hang up, the person helping you will give you an application number. Write this number down and keep it handy. Your application number is used for all documents and business related to the assistance you may receive as a result of the disaster. If the line is busy, please keep trying. Remember, the disaster may have damaged phone lines, or there may be many other people trying to register. Don't give up. Trained specialists will answer your call as soon as possible. A few days after you have registered, you will get an information packet in the mail. This may include an SBA or Small Business Administration loan application. It's important that you fill this out and mail it back as soon as possible.
We were notified by the media, of course, to call FEMA, this 800 number, 1-800-FEMA. And we called the lady. I called very early in the morning. The lady was extremely nice, took the information over the phone, and we got a packet in the mail from FEMA.
Also in a few days, if your losses are not insured, an inspector will call and make an appointment to inspect the damage to your home and personal property. There is no fee for this inspection. The inspector, who is a contractor for FEMA, will have proper FEMA identification. Beware of anyone who claims to be with FEMA but doesn't have a clearly marked FEMA ID, especially if he or she asks for money to do an inspection. There is no fee for inspecting your home. FEMA inspectors check the damage, verify your ownership and occupancy, and then make their report. They send their report into FEMA. The inspectors do not determine your eligibility. Remember, FEMA disaster assistance covers basic needs only. It is designed to cover uninsured or underinsured losses. For complete recovery, your insurance or low-interest loans from the Small Business Administration will help. There is also no fee for completing the SBA loan application. If you are eligible for housing repair assistance, you will receive a housing assistance check within 7 to 10 days from the time of inspection. A separate letter will explain what the money can be used for. If you have to live away from your home for a short time, you may receive money to rent another apartment or home. You may call FEMA if you have questions. Use the same number, 1-800-621-FEMA. Listen to the menu and select the helpline option, and be sure to have your application number handy when you call. If you want to discuss your case with a specialist in person, you can visit a disaster recovery center. There you will find people from local, state, federal, and voluntary agencies that may be able to help you. They can answer your questions, tell you about available programs, and check on the status of your application. And don't forget, you will need your application number. If you have further questions, you can get information online at www.fema.gov. And remember, to apply for federal disaster assistance, you call the FEMA 800 number at 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 1-800-621-FEMA. For the speech and hearing impaired, there's a special TTY line at 1-800-462-7585. FEMA also has operators that can speak different languages, so if English is not your primary language, you can ask for assistance when you call the 800 number. We at FEMA are committed to providing the best customer service to assist victims of disaster receive federal aid. We hope this video will be helpful to you if you ever are a disaster victim and need to apply for assistance. Thank you very much.